You know, if IKEA offered this stuff, I'd probably be there a lot more often and not just for the meatballs. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 33 of What's on the Bench Weekly. If you're not familiar with What's on the Bench, it's where I take you through projects, things that I'm working on, things I've built, things that I've assembled. Today is one of those days. We're going to take a look at all of the stuff that I've gotten most recently from CrawlerPark.com, and here's a good selection of some of the things that I've constructed thanks to CrawlerPark.com. They make these 24th and I will say 18th scale obstacles for a mini crawler course, and this is the result here. These are all flat pack, just like you would get from IKEA. They're laser cut, and you pop all of these pieces out and assemble them. The instructions are included via a QR code on the actual flat pack piece of wood. This is all laminated plywood, laser cut, very high precision, and very sharp edges. So if you are going to be building this stuff, please be sure to be careful because I cut my thumb pretty good when I was doing one and got a lot of blood everywhere. So yeah, maybe wear gloves, definitely have an adult present if you are not an adult. But if you aren't an adult, why are you watching this boring man talk into a camera? Not only does CrawlerPark offer all of these cool obstacles, and there's a bunch to choose from, all in varying sort of levels of complexity or difficulty for your crawlers. They also make a play mat that these can all be placed on. They've all got these little handy doodads that sort of give some friction and make it so they don't move around as much on their fabric-based play mat. They have also got a bunch of tracks that you can actually physically push these into, so they'll actually like lock into place and remain there, which is also pretty cool. So there's that option as well. I think the sort of best sort of mid-range case scenario would be building all of these obstacles and then adding them to your own existing course. That's where I think these things would really shine, because they aren't super complicated. They aren't super difficult to traverse in either 18th or 24th scale, whatever scale you're working at. They aren't super complicated obstacles, but they are a nice addition to maybe an existing larger course. That's where I think that you'll find the most use for them. They are super easy to assemble. You can watch the video once and get the basic gist of what you need to do. Popping all the pieces out of the actual laser cut panel of wood is probably the most complicated part, which isn't saying much. It's not very complicated at all. And the end result is really cool. And rather than me just kind of showing them here on the bench, I thought I would set up a table in my second bedroom, grab a couple of lights, put up a blue screen, and try to make it feel a little more realistic. So, you know, you don't see the background of a bedroom, you see the background of the forest, where these would likely be set up. And it actually is pretty convincing, and I think it looks pretty good. So why don't we run that? And then we'll get into the next thing. And of course, my thanks to CrawlerPark for sending me all of these items. And in fact, I've got one that I do want to give away. It's not mentioned up in the title up there, because if that happens, usually a bunch of scammers try to show up and get you to send them money, which is a total ripoff. I will never contact you with a reply from like Telegram or text me or any of that nonsense. It's very straightforward. You will not have to pay shipping. So if anybody asks you to pay for something, it didn't come from me. Okay? Okay, let's roll that footage of all the CrawlerPark.com obstacles in situation. Enjoy. This last box here, which I haven't opened yet, is an actual 24th scale testing table or setup table, which I actually think is pretty useful. And I'm going to show you how this goes together here. They also make one for 10th scale or 9th scale, you know, our regular sort of size trucks, and I'm going to give that one away. The 24 scale one I'm going to keep. As you can see, this is how they all come. One solid platform with all the pieces cut out with a laser. This one's actually quite intricate. There's a lot of measurements on there, which I think is going to be pretty cool to work with. And instructions are on their website or through the QR code on your phone's camera. So we'll probably get that going too. Now, like I said, some of these edges can be very sharp, so do be careful. So there you go. That's pretty easy assembly of the CrawlerPark setup station, which is pretty cool. They've got this nice, they made this nice little box that holds all the rulers, or I guess gauges for how much clearance you've got under your pumpkin, which is pretty neat. They've also got this side hilling angle finder, so you know how much angle your truck can take before it flops over. Oh, we're getting up there. Oh, there we go. What was that? 40-ish degrees. Pretty cool. That's pretty neat. It also includes this handy RTI ramp right here. This is great. So you, you know, place that on one side, and whenever you start to get a tire that lifts, or, yeah, where are we at here? Nice performance. It's all right there. Very cool. This is really fun. And they actually make a larger format of this, 10th scale, and that's the one I'm giving away. So if you would like to receive that free of charge, no shipping charges, nothing at all, put your comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of them as I can. And if you're enjoying this video, you like to see tiny things, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. I hope you enjoyed that little tiny bit of fake running footage shot in my bedroom, or second bedroom. Yeah, definitely, this is all very fun stuff, and a setup table like this I actually think is going to come in pretty handy. It's one of those things that you kind of don't really know you need until you need it, and it's just nice to know the kind of the limitations that you've kind of built into a truck. It is nice to have a benchmark for where your truck sits, and if you make some modifications, if you've improved those benchmarks. So it's very cool to have something like this in the workshop. Very, very cool. And thanks again to CrawlerPark. This is awesome stuff. Really, really, really very cool. Okay, so that's it for tiny stuff. What else have we got? There's so many tracks, and here's this is all for the Ski Ride 2, of course. And as you can see, these have all been connected now, so they're all pretty rigid and pretty in there. But the really cool thing is building these tracks. So let's actually, I'm going to show you the process here as best I can. Now you do require a little bit of heat for this, and you need some finishing nails. I've got a whole slew of finishing nails. They come together in these little stuck together things. You can add them to a nail gun. That's sort of what that's for, but I don't have a nail gun, and I don't need one. All I do is I just trim them off one by one, just like that. And these tracks were built with the intention of doing exactly what we're going to do here. You have to make sure you're doing this in the proper order. It's like doing an IKEA project. You need to know which piece goes where. These are printed in TPU, and it basically goes double and then a single, but there are two different single sizes. There is the mid and then the small, and then the double right there. So basically ABC, 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 until you have about 35 links. So you just add them like that. The nail, let's zoom in a bit here. Piece on there, and then you put your nail through all those pieces there, just like that. Perfect. And then see this little tab right here where my finger is? You fold that over and heat it up with a soldering iron, and then it basically will kind of weld it in place, keeping that nail exactly where it needs to be. So let's see if I can do that on camera without melting my finger in the process. Give that a second to set up, and there you go. Another piece welded onto the tracks. I've got probably another 7 or 8 hours of printing to get all the required finishing pieces. Once that's all done, we'll be able to mount that to the ski ride, and this project will be officially done. Now, the only problem I'm having now is that it was 60 degrees Fahrenheit today in February, which is too warm to make snow. So there is no snow. We're going to have to wait for snow to happen again, but we're dangerously close to actually driving this thing, which is pretty exciting stuff. I hope you'll stick around for that. Other than what you've seen today, not much has happened, and that's because I've got to save stuff for Road to the Regionals, which I still haven't really done anything on. So that's going to be my project for the next week. Hopefully we'll still have something for What's on the Bench. In fact, I know we will. So I hope you'll stick around. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next week.